Hello everybody, welcome to Planet FPL Game Week 1 Deadline stream, and it's live. My name's James and I hope you're all just about ready and locked in ahead of the FPL Deadline. Are we live? Yeah, we are live. That's good. That's a result. Right, a promise first before I go through the graphics. Have a quick look. I'm on a promise. I know most of you want to see me in this. There you go. Man of my word. Let's get to it. So, graphics on the screen, guys. Top right hand corner, you will see my team. It is locked in. It hasn't changed for 3 days, honestly. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what I spoke about on the podcast we released earlier today. Bottom right hand side, you'll see my top captaincy picks for the week. They're in preference of order. So Mohamed Salah obviously top as a favoured best choice. Quite frankly, I don't believe there is much of another choice this week. Benching dilemmas below me on the screen. If you see two players together, the player who's above and with the tick next to them is the favoured choice to start out of those two players. There were 5 pages worth. The final 5th page is a choice between goalkeepers, although I don't think anybody's got too many goalkeeping benching dilemmas this week. And obviously on the screen as well, you'll see my predictions for the game week, which for some reason doesn't actually show the Brentford Arsenal prediction for some reason at the moment. But I can tell you my prediction is 2-1 to Arsenal. Although Aubameyang and Lacazette out. Who would have thought it? Right, let's get into the questions. Those who've been here before, welcome back. Those who haven't, welcome to the stream. The way this will work is very, very simple. I will go through the questions in order of submission and I will go through them as quickly as I possibly can. There is a fair chance I won't get to you. So if you've got a question, stick it in and I'll get to it as quickly as possible. Please don't repeat question. Honestly, you will just get muted. Okay, who's in? Mohammed says, your thoughts on Jared Bowen? All the best for FPL 21-22. Good player. Think he'll start. A little bit doubtful. Yarmolenko played the last friendly, so not worth the risk. I think when you got Ben, if you're thinking for FPL, Ben Rama at the same price, I wouldn't be going down that route. Possibly an option if Antonio was to get an injury, which will happen at some point. And obviously he's been heavily linked to Liverpool as well, so could move before the window shuts. A no on Jared Bowen. Phil McMahon says, hey James, it's good to be back. No question, but wish you luck, mate. Thank you. John O'Sullivan. Can I be sure that Scarlett won't go out on loan? My only requirement of a 4.5 million forward is that they don't leave the game. So I'm okay with Davis as he's injured, but obviously can't play. He's extremely unlikely to go out on loan. Troy Parrott has gone on loan to Milton Keynes. So Dane will stay, and he'll be on the fringes. I expect him to play quite a bit in the Europa Conference League this year. Easy for you to say. So no, should stay. I can't promise he won't go out on loan, but remember he's only 17 as well, so unlikely to go out on loan. FTLOL podcast, afternoon James, who do you think will win the correspondent mini league this year? Firstly, congratulations on your 100th podcast very recently, guys. I will go with Sam Murray, FPL Seagull, Brighton. I call him the baby-faced assassin. He's only a fucking kid. He's like 22, 23 or something. His FPL record, though, is astonishingly good. I'm going to back Sam to win that this year, actually. John O'Sullivan, thanks for the great work. Good luck all. Thank you, John. Sure, nice to have these back, James. How many game weeks do you think until rotation becomes an issue for Mahrez owners? Game week 1, mate? No, in all seriousness, I think you're probably good till after the international break. You should be. Ricky Saunders, my Tottenham correspondent, says it's good to be back. Savanch says Ben Rama or Harrison. It's a Harrison for me. Birth Media, thoughts on Rodrigo? Decent pick. Not certain to start this game week. I think as the season goes on, he could well put some pressure on Bamford as a central striker, actually, for Leeds. But a no-go to start with, in my opinion. Nicola Torco, welcome back, James. Hope you're doing well and you got to relax a little, even with the crazy Euros going on. Just wanted to say hello and good luck for this season, everybody. Thank you, Nicola. Michael says, James, you said last year, whenever Liverpool is missing one of their back 5, it's not the same. What do you think about Liverpool's defence with Schmikas likely coming in? Thanks and good luck. I'll answer a load of questions on Schmikas right now. Please listen to what I'm saying. If you were going Jota, Salah, Trent anyway, don't break up your team to get Schmikas. If you weren't going with 3 of them, if you were going just say Salah and Trent like I was, and had plans in place to potentially have a 4.0, I think you should get him in. It's just low risk, right? I had Nico Williams for a bit last year when Trent got injured, and a couple of weeks it worked out, and a couple of weeks it went very badly, and I suspect this will probably be similar for Schmikas. The other thing is, which nobody seems to be mentioning, Robertson probably we expect to be back in game week 4. But what if he's not? What if he has a setback and he's out till game week 8, for example? It's not impossible, is it? I think, like, unless you would definitely set on a treble Liverpool, start with him. You'll get the value in him. It looks like he's going to start. It will be a surprise now if we see the team tomorrow and he's not in it. Phil B says, evening, James. Gilmore and Rafinha or Smith Rowe and Gray. Good luck for the new season, mate. Well, that's a little bit dependent, mate. So, I mean, are you looking to play Gilmore? In which case, I'd have to say go the other two. Damari Gray at 5.5. I'd need to see it first to consider it. I mean, if your intention is to bench one of those players, I'm going to say Rafinha and Gilmore. I think that's straightforward. Liam House says Barnes to Rafinha or Ings to Wilson to fund a Marty to 4.5. Either. Both are reasonable, to be honest. I've got Barnes and Ings. I don't really want to get rid of either. But Wilson and Rafinha are two players that I'm not happy about going without. Listen, there's about 40 players that I wanted to pick, right? Obviously, Bruno Fernandes would have been one of them, but you can't have everyone. I would say Barnes to Rafinha. Rowan S says, good evening, James. Good to see you back live. Couple of questions. Son, Tony, or Mahrez and Antonio. To start with, also is Dane Scarlett viable 4.5 bench option? Good luck for the new season. Dane Scarlett's not going to play, right? This one of two things going to happen. Either Kane's going to stay and he's not going to get much of a look in, and even if Kane was injured, Son will play up front, or Kane will go, which is highly probable, I would suggest, and Tottenham will probably buy a replacement forward, and if they don't, they'll buy a replacement wide forward and Son will play through the middle. To answer your first question, Rowan, Son and Tony, is Scarlett viable 4.5? I mean, yes, he could get a couple of one-pointers for you, but it's not going to be much more. He is a super talent. I have such big hopes for him. Dan Young says, hello, mate. Any concerns with highly owned bench fodder like Foster, Bissouma dropping in price early? There's a difference between the two, in my opinion, on this. So, in the case of Bissouma, I think it's more of a concern than Foster. And the reason I say this is exactly this. If Foster drops to 3.9, and he's the first goalkeeper to drop to 3.9, and he could well do, the first 3.9 goalkeeper has every chance of jumping straight back up to 4.0 when everybody on their wildcard gets the 3.9 second goalkeeper. That's not a concern. When Bissouma drops, he's not likely to come back. So there is a difference between the two, in my opinion. Planted Seed says, Jimbo, exciting times, mate. Big love to you and Suj. Hardest work and the best creators out there. Appreciate that. Enjoy the season, mate. Are you shocked the Scousers have been so quiet transfer wide this season? Yes, I guess I am. I mean, Everton, as we found out with Spirit Blues, came on correspondent week, haven't really got the money at the moment. Liverpool, yeah, I am surprised. But look, there's a couple of weeks of the window still to go, and I think there'll be a lot of business still to happen, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do spend some money. By the way, kids, first deadline stream of the year, do you know what I mean? Hit the old thumb button, the subscribe button if you're new. I hate doing that shit, but I should. I'll promote all the Patreon crap at the end. Atul Balaji says, hello, James. Glad to see you doing these again. Would you go with Tony and Rafinha or Antonio and Harrison? It's a close one. I'd go Antonio and Harrison, mate. I have, haven't I? Essence says, hi, James. If you could upgrade only one, Tony to Wilson or Sarr to Barnes, may not do either. If I could only upgrade one, Sarr to Barnes. Sheila says, best 6 million midfielder, will it too risky to start with? Yes, I think so. I must be honest, I know he's officially signed for Newcastle. I don't know if he was registered with the Premier League before 12 o'clock to be available for this weekend. That might have been confirmed. I've missed the news because it's happened very recently. Harrison, for me, is the best 6 million midfielder. He's in my squad. Carl Winfield, hi James, good luck for the season. I'm currently on Bertrand as a pump for early fixtures with him on set pieces. Is there any other 5.0 or less defender you'd prefer? Not on Dunk, as I have Sanchez. Well, Dunk was going to be the obvious answer. Soufal longer term, I think it's probably better there. It's difficult to say if Bertrand will stay in the team long term or not. I don't think that's a given. But yeah, there's certainly method in choosing him. You've said it's a bit of a punt. If you haven't got too many other punts, Kyle, no problem, mate. Edwin Gran, hello, James. Best 5 million defender. Good luck to you and Sidge for the season ahead and keep up the good content. Best 5 defender, in my opinion, honestly, Lewis Dunk. Greg Watson, hi, James. Have you seen the news about the Brazil players who have been selected for internationals in September could miss game week 4? I did see something very briefly about Rafinha, but I haven't looked into it. I don't think we should worry about it too much, and I don't believe I've got any Brazilian players, so also don't really give a shit at the moment. Greg Watson says, that's what we've just done. Ritwick, Zahara, Barnes, Savant, best 4.5 million forward. There isn't one. Bottom line, stop looking for it. It doesn't really matter. There is a case to be made that actually get one who's going out on loan, who you probably won't lose the value in, like Perica at Watford. I think's already gone out on loan. There's an argument to do that. The most likely to get minutes as it stands is probably Scarlett. But he's only going to be 1 pointers. Like, to be honest, if Obafemi stays, he'll get the odd 1 pointer. If Keenan Davis stays at Villa, he'll get the odd one. But if Keenan Davis stays at Villa, he's probably the one. But you need injuries to Ings and Watkins for that to happen, right? No, they're all shit, bottom line. That's why I paid for Cucho. James Johnson, evening James, no question, just want to say what a legend you guys are. Thanks, James. Andrew Jarvis, hello James, hope you're well. I'm considering Backman to Emi Martinez and Tony to Cucho in order to afford. I would bench Cucho and start Ayling. It's okay, although to be honest, between the two this week, I think I'd probably play Cucho over Ayling personally. Yeah, that's the order I've got on my bench, and you'll probably find both of those two players in the benching order. On the benching dilemmas screen, guys, it works from left to right. So Tony above Schmikas, then Schmikas above, I think that's Rafinha, and it works from page 1 all the way on to page 5, and so I think they're both on there. Have a little look when you got a moment. Alistair Coper, hey mate, glad to have these back. Trying to decide between Gundo, Barnes, Son, Veltman. Tell me that screen is moving, James. Yeah, it's moving. It's just me. Alistair Coper, hey mate, glad to have these back. Trying to decide between Gundogan, Barnes, Son, Veltman. Which Joe would you go for? Sonny, mate. Lawrence Wong, thoughts on Rafinha being called up to the Brazil team. Like to miss game before, potentially even a few more game weeks if needs to isolate. Well, it's a sort of one, I think, and I haven't got the information. Literally saw a headline 2 minutes before I went live. If you're undecided about Rafinha v Harrison, it makes your choice for you, doesn't it? I don't think I've got any Brazilians in my team. I should be okay. Mikey2908, higher cash or target or Ayling. Higher cash or target or Ayling. I'd save the money on Ayling personally. Colin Con, it's on game week 1. Keep up the great content. Tridor, hi James Wilson and Ben Rama, or Rafinha and Barnes. How does that work? Wilson and Ben Rama. I presume you're going to fudge your third substitute then. Wilson and Ben Rama or Rafinha and Barnes. Rafinha and Barnes for me. But I don't know the script between this Brazil headline, so please research it for yourselves, guys. Coolio 2 Foots, put it on, that'd be the shirt. Alex Mann, evening James, no question today, but thanks for all the pre-season content, so useful for both FPL and Sky. Bench boosting game week 1, let's go, good luck. Joe Finney-Bad, love the attire mate, cheers. TJ Power, we're back lads, good luck this weekend James, and to you buddy. Harry Redmond, Arsenal looking weak, predictions for game, tactically score, top performer. The Arsenal prediction is there now, 2-1 to Arsenal, I've gone for. I'll stick with my prediction. That's what I said on our Patreon podcast this morning. So I'll stick with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford hold them now. But I think Arsenal should, even with Aubameyang and Lacazette out, they should probably still have too much tonight. Close though. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford beat them. New game, first full capacity game in a brand new stadium. It's not going to be hostile, but they'll be very up for it on a Friday night. First Premier League game, won't they? They need to make sure the game stays fast, and they constantly fill the game, not let Arsenal kind of just dictate what's happening, because then the crowd will go quiet and stuff. They need to keep it high energy. I suspect they will. They'll have a chance, but I would expect Arsenal still to edge it, in all honesty. Brendan01, hi James, what's your opinions on Barnes and White or Soufal and Rafinha? Thinking about the Europa League maybe affecting Soufal, thanks and good luck. Yeah, well, the Europa League might affect Barnes, mate, so don't overthink that stuff too much, I think. Yes, Barnes is probably more likely to get rest because Leicester's squad is deeper than West Ham's, but West Ham can throw someone at right back. They can throw Fredericks there, Ben Johnson there, so Soufal will get rest as well. Don't let that be the deciding factor in your decision making. Depends. Do you need the defender to be playing quite a lot? If so, I think I'd rather pay the extra for Soufal. But Ben White's very good at 4.5. And Arsenal got a great run from game week 4. Andrew Darvis, did you spill some paint on your shirt, James? Yes, I did. Alistair Coper quite likes the shirt. Tiago Costa, good luck for the new season, James. You too, my friend. Birth Media, nice shirt, James. Mark Robinson, hi, James, Antonio and Greenwood, or Mahrez and Tony. There's a big clue, my friend, and my team's on the screen. And I've got 2 of those players and I haven't got the other 2. Josh Shah, start Rafinha or Veltman? You start Rafinha on that, mate. Yeah. There's a few cases where I think... I said in pre-season you don't want to leave out a player like Rafinha or Harrison. I don't like that I'm leaving Harrison out, even with the fact they're playing Manchester United away. But I think there's certain ones where, yeah, you still go with them. And I think Veltman, what's the best case scenario? Veltman 6, 7. He's probably playing at centre back rather than full back or wing back. I don't think play Rafinha. He got 2 assists in the corresponding fixture last season. Play him over that one. Yusuf says, James, I missed you, mate. Just one question. Do you think people are pushing City players on their team because of FOMO? Well, I haven't. I think it's the knowing that they can go off and they've got the best fixture next week. So why wouldn't you want it? I mean, I had a look at a draft with Mahrez this week. I played with it. Mahrez was close. It was close for me, I think, and I decided not to go with it personally. But otherwise, I mean, John Stones would have been the other one. I think Pereira wouldn't have been there. I'd have gone John Stones if John Stones had played last week. But Johnny Pringle, our City correspondent, thinks Stones probably won't start this weekend. So I'm not starting with that. Shifa says, hi James, I'm taking a punt on a 6.5 minute 6 midfielder for the first 4 game weeks. Who do you think is better from Gross, Trossard and Sarr? Already have Ben Rama. Don't fancy Leeds opening 4. From those 3, I would go Sarr. I think Gross is brilliantly consistent. Trossard, it's hit and miss. Sarr, it's punty, but he's the only one of the 3 that I'd have been considering. I'm the dude. Get the yellow tie out. It's not deadline day, mate. Atul Balaji, hey James, there's some weird, bad, modern art on the live feed. Leave the comedy to me, mate. Jeff Holt, my eyes. Good on you, James. Ashes. I so should have gone for 10,000, honestly. Ashes having Greenwood a transfer waiting to happen. It might be, yeah. But then I've not got many other players like that, so it depends on the rest. I think Greenwood, Mahrez, I think it's similar. We should be okay till the international break. Damon Rozalski, I want you to put Norwich City jersey. Well, I don't fucking have one. I wouldn't wear one anyway. James, hi James. Do you think Adam Armstrong will start? No. Ralph Hasenhüttl said he would need to be integrated into the squad. I would expect him to be a substitute. Savanch Singh, heard Rafinha won't be available game before due to call up for Brazil. You know anything about this? No. So stop asking about it. No offence, Savanch. FPL Hitman, yes. With that kit, now the season is a go. Good luck, James. Looking to enjoy this ride again this year with you. And to you, it's Raw 12G. Good luck, James. Thank you, Ethan Williams. Good luck, James, mate. Really enjoyed pre-season content. Thoughts on bench boost game week 1? I'm not a fan. They've got to be nailed. Like, I wouldn't be doing it and putting in Mahrez's or Greenwood's or no one. Got to be 15 nailed players. I think if Leicester weren't signing Vestergaard, and I don't know if he's available for their game tomorrow or not, would have made it easier to think, I might have a Marty and Schmickas for a few games and then you can justify it. I think also if Freddie Woodman had come in at 4.0, Newcastle goalkeeper rather than 4.5 would have been something else to justify it. Then you really could have had the dirt cheap bench and do it. Personally, it's not for me. And that's because I'd like to maximise it. What I would say is, and I know people are considering it, and people do it every year, and there will be some people who do very well off it. Genuinely sit down, look at your 4 worst players, look at your bench, and if you genuinely think they'll get you 16 points or more, go for it. But I don't think many will be in that position where they genuinely believe that. Nils says, thoughts on El Ghazi for 2 game weeks. Well, Leon Bailey's in the squad, although he's not fit to start. That's my understanding on Villa. Bertrand Traore is still working his way up to fitness, so he's not going to be available. I think it's okay, but it's really punty. I mean, that really is a transfer waiting to happen. If you're going to get a Villa player, don't you want the Villa player for 3 weeks rather than 2 weeks? I'll try and find a way. If you're desperate to have a midfield Villa in there, get up to Buendia. He should be fit now. Jacob says, Ben Rama and Wilson or Barnes and Tony. Ben Rama and Wilson or Barnes and Tony. Barnes, Tony for me. Archie Moyes, Barnes and Greenwood. My screen, Archie. My team on the screen is going to be a big clue for your question, mate. I'm the dude. As a Norwich fan, I couldn't captain Salah, so I've gone Ings. I can see him getting a brace, but am I dumb? No, mate. It's understandable. Listen, your football team's far more important than FPL, so I can understand that. But then just put it on Salah and just forget about it. Just forget you've done it. Wash your hands and stuff. You'll feel dirty, but it's all right. We've all done it. I've captained players against Tottenham, mate. If I think they're the best choice, I'll do it. I don't care. FPL Hitman, Gilmore or Brownhill? It's close. It's close. So Jack, a Turfy Topper, our Burnley correspondent, does think Brownhill will probably start. Gilmore will definitely start for Norwich, you should imagine. Gilmore has been taking a couple of set pieces, I believe, for Norwich in pre-season. But Brownhill, when he plays, will take the odd free kick for Burnley. And, as Jack explained to his Turfy Topper on Correspondent Week, they've only got 2 wingers in the squad. If one of them gets injured, there's every chance Brownhill will play as one of the wide players. And that possibly makes him quite interesting. Brownhill's got the bigger ceiling. Gilmore, if you want the 2 points every week. They're both reasonable options. Steve Jones, evening mate, all the best for the season. Any chance you think Milner plays left back instead of Schmikas? Welcome Steve, one of our newest patrons. Thank you so much, mate. Is there a chance? Yeah. But all the reports and everybody in the know seems to think Schmikas will play left back. Sounds like James Milner's going to be needed in midfield tomorrow, to be honest. Tyrell Maxfield, thoughts on the best 7.5 million midfielder? Pepe, Jota or Greenwood? Be the one that's in my team, Tyrell. Top right hand side on the screen, my friend. Jeff Holt, James or Suj finish higher. Best wishes to you. Good luck, mate. I'll tell you, let you in something. And I'm going to say it now before Game Week 1 happens. I did tweet it last night. I think Suj is going to have a really good season this year. And it's the first time I know I've ripped the piss out of him. I think he's going to do really well this year. He's really switched on. He's picked up so much, particularly from the Content Creator Week we did. I think he's listening. Which is a big thing for Suj. I think he's going to do well this year. I think he'll surprise a lot of people. I hope he does as well, just as long as he's below me. James Bishop, evening, James. Bench Soufal, Shaw or Tony? From that, it's got to be Soufal, mate. Brad says, question, what makes you confident of Cucho starting? He's competing with Deeney, Fletcher, Sema and Dennis for 2 spots in the starting 11. Well, I'm confident, but I also don't really care because he's sitting second on my bench. His pre-season form, all the reports from Watford fans really like him. He's a flair player. He's going to be light down there. Fletcher is not competition. Sema is. Dennis can play any forward position. But I would expect Cucho to start. Everything that I've read and heard about from the friendlies and Watford fans suggests that Cucho will start. I've not had a Watford fan come to me yet and say, by the way, mate, he's not going to play. I've not heard any of that. So I think he'll play. Fletcher's not a fit. I actually think King will probably be in competition with Deeney. I think Cucho could keep the shirt for a few weeks. And if he returns once in that point, it'll be of interest to people. Particularly when everyone wants to thump Lukaku or Kane into their team and they realise they need to find money from somewhere. The playing 5 million forward could possibly be of real interest. So he might be someone that suddenly, in 5-6 game weeks, is quite popular. So Savage saying Barnes and Soufal or Shaw and Ben Rama. Shaw and Ben Rama, mate. Rody G, any thought on whether to start Tony or Harrison? Great content in the off-season, by the way. Go to forward, mate. Even Tony. When I say, those who listen to me regularly will know I'm always going to say go to forward, like Tony or something like that in a debate like that. Cucho's different, right? We're not even sure he's going to play. He's probably a wide forward. If you look at his attacking returns historically, although he did quite well in La Liga, there aren't that many attacking returns. There's a big difference between saying, yes, I would go Harrison over Cucho than going Tony over Harrison. Even Tony should play. If you're going with Even Tony and you're in a position where you're already thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to play him at home to Arsenal, then I think you should be second guessing if you even want him in your squad in the first place. You play Tony every week, as far as I'm concerned, unless it begins to look really bad for Brentford. And the chances are, if you've gone Tony, you're already looking at sort of game week 6 onwards and going, shit, that looks a bit grim. So it's possibly short term with Tony. You have to be aware of that. Of course, you can keep him there all season for consistency, and he will no doubt be their talisman, I'm certain. And yes, I think he's worth paying extra than going and Buemo in midfield. FPL Hitman, Ailing with White or Veltman? I would have gone with White, personally, if I'd have gone down that route over Veltman. Vivek Gore, thoughts on target? Decent, 5 million. I know Callum Mates was on our podcast on Tuesday. He intends to go with Matt Target, 5 million. Personally, I would rather pay the extra for Emi Martinez. But I think now that he's played the last friendly, yeah, it's as good a choice as any from the Villa defenders. Personally, I think if I'd have gone for one, I would have maybe gone for Matty Cash. You got to remember the relationship that Target had last year was with Grealish, and that's not there now, so it's a little bit different. Jose Vargas says Rafinha, 5.5 million defender, 2 4.5s, and TAA, or there's a lot going on here, mate, or Antonio and 3 4.5 million defenders and TAA. The TAA option. Greg Simpson, has Reece James not played much in pre-season? or something. Haven't seen him considered anywhere really. The answer is no. Chelsea have arranged a friendly on Sunday against Weymouth, which is designed for a lot of their international players to build up minutes in pre-season. It's not to say that they won't play. I think out of necessity, for example, Mount might have to play tomorrow. Chilwell might have to play tomorrow. And Azpilicueta might have to play tomorrow. Other than that, Azpilicueta probably will play actually. But Mount and Chilwell might have to play, whereas the majority of others, no. So, Reece James, no, has not been involved, mate. So, skip that. Slaughter PFK, I love your team, James. That's great. Thanks. Bidder says, is Dele Alli his right pick? I mean, I wouldn't go anywhere near him, mate, personally. So, what you'll see, and you may not see this in the Manchester City game because Manchester City are the opposition, it's been evolving during the pre-season games, and we saw it a lot in the Arsenal game. You're looking at 4-3-3 for Tottenham without the ball. Dele Alli playing left of a midfield three, and then going and playing kind of inverted second striker in a 4-2-3-1 when we've got the ball. And that's to keep him away from the build-up play because no one wants him about it. You've got to consider Lo Celso close, and Dombele's not involved at the moment. And I also think there's every chance that Tottenham will buy a player in that area. For me, it's got to be a no. Personally, he's the sort of one where you can get to him, right? If he suddenly looks like he's going to show the great Dele Alli form of a couple of years ago, you can get to him, right? At 6.5, you're not going to be worried. Oh, suddenly he's 6.6. I'm not going to buy him now. Listen, if Dele can recapture that form, we'll all be buying him. To start with, no, it's not for me, honestly. Dylan Farrell, Spanner's ready. Best of luck this season. James, thanks for the content. European dream is over for Bohemians. 2-0 Pauk last night. And my next door neighbour missed an open goal to go to extra time. Grim. That's a good effort though, mate. Fair game. And all, as ever, thanks to the Spanners that are in the chat. If you want to be a Spanner, you got to be a patron. Ritwick Vias, Bruno or Mane and Backman or Sanchez. Bruno or Mane and Backman and Bruno. Sanchez. James Bishop, cheers for the great content, mate. Josh Sharp, best 4 million defender if you already have Schmikas. You don't want another one, would be my advice. Personally, if it was me, I'd go Livramento. But I don't think he'll play for a long time. But it'd be the best one to leave in there, sitting there, if you're thinking a wild card in late. If you want a wild card early, you're probably still best going to Marty. You might get the game tomorrow. But I wouldn't advise it. Because suddenly you'd be in a position where none of them's available for you. So you need 3 other strong defenders if you're going to go down that route, I think. Notorious Nerd, prospects of Son in the next 4 without Kane. Good, mate. Think of it like this. If I said to you, Tottenham were going to draw 2-2 on Sunday, which I think is unlikely. I've predicted us not to score. But let's just say it was 2-2 on Sunday. Who do you think's scoring? His prospects are great. Brandon Medrano, Ings or Antonio for first 3. I've got both. If I'd had to go for one, prioritise, I'd have been Ings for the first 3. Ritwit Vias, Dean and DCL, or Ings and Pereira. Another big clue there, Ritwick. My team is on the screen. My team has one combination you're looking for. Josh Duggle, good luck, James. Thank you. Patty FPL, thoughts on stacking players from just 4 or 5 teams based on fixtures instead of spreading across more teams. I don't mind kind of semi all-in strategies, just picking from the big guys. There are cheap options within them. Schmikas, White. I was going to say Eric Dyer. Don't say that out loud, James. Bertrand's quite cheap, right? Liverpool probably going to have a playing 5 million centre-back in a couple of weeks. We just don't know who it is yet. So, yeah, you can go that way. Max says start Benrahma or Buendia. I'd go Buendia, mate. But I'd also have a second look at your team. Jassim Jazz. Hi, James. Good luck for the game week. Thank you. Kushal, Gundogan or Pepe? I'd have gone Gundogan. But I do think... I think Pepe will return tonight, if that helps you. But if it's to put a player into your squad, Gundogan. Stuart Bell, do you think Højbjerg could be an option if he's playing on the right of a 3? No. No, it's not an FPL option. Could develop to be quite steady. Was he 5? I'm not even sure what price he is. I'm guessing it's 5. If he's 5.5, definitely not. 5 million could be further down the line. It's really not worth the extra 0.5 over people like Bissouma's. I mean, just sit down and think about that. Do you think Højbjerg outscores Bissouma this season? Touch and go, isn't it? Quibena says Greenwood and Veltman, Ayling, or Benrahma and Buendia. Greenwood and Ayling are both in my squad. There's your answer. Downstairs, great to have you back, mate. Do we think Target will start first three with Young in the squad or Cash safer? Good luck, mate. Here we go. Here we go. You should be okay. But if you're worried about it, go with Cash, yeah. But then you could argue that Twanzebe might put pressure on Cash. I think you should be okay. Moadine says, hi James, what do you think of this midfield? Salah, Captain Greenwood, Gundogan, Jota, Son, too risky. What's risky about it? Peter G, hi James, any change to your Sky team since Wednesday? Yes, I will talk about it at deadline, and I need to go in and have a look at something else. So I wouldn't say I'm locked in, but I will be before the stream finishes. I can tell you Lewis Dunk is in my team, but we'll talk about it at 6:30 after the deadline. Owen Walsh, oi James, great to be back. Amazing work with Correspondence Week. Good luck this season, mate. Cheers. Vladin says, Salah, Bruno, Gundogan, Jota, Greenwood, what you think? If I say shit, then what? Darren Malloy, hate asking these questions, but Trossard and Shaw or Barnes and White? Is this for a team, Darren, or is this to start? I presume this is for a team. Can I say Shaw and Buendia? Is Trossard 6.5? Can I say Shaw and Buendia? Can I say Shaw and Harrison? Shaw and Sarr? Not particularly keen on Trossard, personally. Jack Tyner, 6.5 million forward and 7 million midfielder. Or 7 million forward and 6 million midfielder. Jake, it depends who they are, pal. Depends who they are. There's no point having that strategy. So we say 6 million forwards, right, Tony, and a 7 million midfielder. So it's Harvey Barnes. Or 7.5 million midfielder. Are they worth paying for? Mason Greenwood, in my opinion. And a 6 million midfielder. Well, 7.5 million forward and a 6 million midfielder. So let's say Harrison and... Who have I got? Antonio, 7.5, isn't he? Harrison, Antonio, or Tony and Barnes? I'm going Harrison and Antonio, mate. Adam Roscoe, thoughts on this team? Nah, not reading out teams, mate, but good luck, Adam. Pete Haley, I've got 3 million in the bank and I'm happy with my team. I'm thinking it will help with the Kane move. If it happens, is it crazy to have it in the bank? Spend it, Pete. Spend it. Harry Kane ain't going anywhere, mate, for 2 weeks. And he might not go anywhere at all. Spend the money, mate. There's no point sitting there. You ain't going to want Harry Kane in your team till game week 4 or game week 5 at the earliest. Honestly, spend the money, mate. Philby Duck, Mahrez and Barnes versus Son and Benrahma. Son priority for me, so it's going to be Sonny. You're not going to find me on many questions, but I'm not going to say Son. Savanch Singh, Balogun to start. Apparently, do you advise starting him instead of a 4.5 million forward? Has he got a price? Has Balogun got a price? I don't think he even had a price when we were looking earlier. I'm going to log in because I don't want to go to the bottom of the chat. Shut up. Transfers. Player list. Arsenal. Wankers. Balogun. 5 million. Nah. For 1 week. I mean, it's a fair shot. I mean, what do you do when you see the team and it's not even that and they play Pepe up front? Nah. James Johnson, thoughts on triple captain Doherty? Yeah, lock it in, mate. Regan Gonzalez, I didn't put the bit in the bio that should say ask a stupid question, expect a stupid answer. Regan Gonzalez, in a dilemma for the past 2 hours, Pepe or Gundogan or Greenwood, all at 7.5. Regan, if you're going to ask me that question, is going to be the person that's in my team in the top right-hand corner on your screen. John Jacobson, hello, mate. Do you prefer a Friday night game or a Monday night game? Prefer Monday myself, as Mondays are crap. Good luck. Monday night game every day. Honestly. I fucking hate these Friday deadlines. The whole day just becomes such a rush for me. Garlic 25, Evening James. What do you think between Gundogan and Rafinha? I'd go Rafinha. Field Buck, also good luck with the season. At the least, it can't be worse than watching a Jose team. Here's hoping. BM3, Wino City. Well, when I look at their first 4 fixtures, mate, Liverpool at home, Man City away, Leicester at home, Arsenal away, I think Norwich City's fixtures are too rough, to be very honest with you, mate. I meant Man City. I know what you meant, mate. James Hill, 95. Do you think Stones 5.5 is a good option? Can bench game week 1. But what if you don't play game week 2? And there is that. I could have done that. I could have gone Stones over Pereira, played Harrison this week and been quite happy with that. But what if he doesn't play game week 2? What if he doesn't play game week 3? Nah, don't like it, mate. Sam says, I've been ripping up my team, decided to go back to players I like for the longer term so that I can be more flexible to begin with. Egg Jimenez and Bamford over Wilson and Ings. Okay, that's fine. DCL Dean, like it. With DCL back, you're right trying to get me there. Do you think he'll start, and do you think the probability of Dean getting an assist just tripled? No, mate. I mean, definitely DCL playing is better for Dean, but I wouldn't have let that suddenly become an influence on my decision. Oh, DCL's back now, Dean's suddenly a good option. It's a good option anyway. Does it improve his chances of an attacking return this week? Yeah, slightly. Really lazy J. Barnes and Greenwood or Morris and Buendia. It's going to be fairly obvious, my friend. Have a look at the team on the screen in the top right hand corner. Perhaps everybody, as it says in the pin tweet, would perhaps like to have a look at the graphics beautifully provided by my man FPL Captain. That's Captain with a K. Give him a follow on Twitter. He might hook you up with your own graphics for your own streams. Check the graphics for you. Ask your questions, because the answer to your question might be on the screen. If the person's in my team, that's what I'm going to say. It's fairly obvious. Kieran OS, what's happening, mate? You look like a bouncy ball. I like that. I look like a bouncy ball. I hadn't heard that one. Like that, Kieran. You've been commenting the stream so far. Thank you. Regan Gonzalez in a dilemma for the past 2 hours. I feel like we've had that once already. And I promise you, Regan, if I see that again, I won't see you again, unfortunately. Jake Powell, thoughts on starting with Meslier? I think it's a great option. Honestly, great option. Differential, owned by under 10%. Best 5 million keeper by distance, in my opinion. Has the ceiling to potentially be the best goalkeeper in the game this year. I think it's a great pick. The problem is Luke Ayling's 4.5. If Luke Ayling weren't 4.5, I think Meslier would have been in my team, to be honest. Vladen says, what if Milner play left back? Covered that previously. Lalo Tree, hi James. Tony, Son, Ben Rama, or Ings, Barnes, Greenwood? You found a question where I'm not going to go for Son. Ings, Barnes, Greenwood. Congratulations. Mohammed says, Son and Havertz or Sancho and Havertz? So, Son or Sancho? It's obvious, isn't it? I don't need to answer that. Ryan says, I was Bruno out until today. I bloody bottled it. That's okay, Ryan. It's all right. Hornet says, Ben Foster wearing and giving your shirt some love on his goalkeeper channel. Yeah, and fair game to Ben went on Andy Let's Talk FPL's channel. By the way, if you're here and you're looking for expert FPL advice, leave and go and watch Andy's stream. This is more for fun. Wasn't it great for Ben Foster to go on there? And it was a really good chat that Andy had with him as well. Andy's channel's just hit 200 subs as well. He's such a lovely bloke, Andy. So happy for him. Josh McCree says, Gundo fan or Grealish Barnes? You mean Gundogan, obviously, as you did correct yourself in fairness. Gundogan or Grealish and Barnes? So is it Gundogan or Grealish with Barnes? Or just one of the players? I'm going to say Barnes. I'd also go Gundogan over Grealish till I know exactly where Grealish is playing. Hornet says Grealish ahead of Gundo. Price only going one way for Grealish before Norwich. Not necessarily. Shiraj 24. Gundo or fuck, I'm getting out in this shirt. This shit shirt. Gundo or Grealish? Gundogan. Paolo Gatti. I mean, that opinion might be different in a couple of weeks, but right now, if I had to pick one, it'd be Gundogan. Paolo Gatti, thoughts on Bamford? Correct price. Good option. But Leeds have two better options in the midfield area, in my opinion. Rob Pick, good luck, James. Thanks for the amazing content in pre-season. We're to go without Short or Bruno, but bottled it. Gone without Ings instead. Crying without Ings. Best of luck. You want to see Benny Blanco about that one, mate? That boy Tim, will Jota start? I don't know. I don't pick the team. Probably yes. Simon Dowling, just want to say thanks for all the great pre-season pods. Good luck for the season, James. You're very welcome. Thank you very much. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, guys. Jamie McCormack, is there any point in me playing White when I have Tony for tonight? Well, it depends. Are you bringing in instead if you don't play him? But yeah, I'd if it's avoidable, avoid it. Yeah, avoid it if you can. But it's not, doesn't matter. It could be 1-1 and they could both score, right? In theory. Mark Casander, hi James, thanks for all the content this week. Only this week? I'm concerned with the Barnes news. Think about changing to Maddison or Greenwood thoughts. Already have Salah, Morris, Son. Okay. So what's the Barnes news? So you've seen a quote that says Harvey Barnes is not 100% fit yet. Yeah? Did you also see the quote where Brendan Rodgers in the same interview 10 seconds later went on to say, I thought he was absolutely brilliant at the weekend and I think he's going to have a fantastic season. So you pick the bits you want to hear. Make sure you've got all the information. There is no concerning news on Harvey Barnes unless it's broken in the last half hour and I'm unaware of it. Marcus Sanders says, hi James, that's what we've just done. Shadrach, Harrison or Rafinha. I've gone Harrison, mate. Part of that is money orientated. Like, I don't have any money in the bank. But I was going Harrison anyway. I looked at alternatives. We're still going Harrison, honestly. If I'd have gone Sanchez instead of Martinez, left $1 million in the bank, I wouldn't have changed it. I'd have stayed with Harrison. That boy. Nice knowing you. Lincoln begs, hey mate, Rafinha and 4.5 million striker versus Tony and 4. I'd avoid the 4.5 million strikers if you can, mate. Border Jens play Sarr and Buemo. Sarr for me, mate. Woody, hi James, so many players going with Rafinha as Leeds can score against anyone, but for that same reason, shouldn't we have more consideration for Bamford? Don't see him many drafts, but it's exactly that. Rafinha and Harrison Price versus Bamford. The two of them could outscore Bamford. Is the point, right? And that's why you're not seeing Bamford in many drafts. It's not because Bamford's not a good price. He's not a bad price. It's not that he's not a potentially good asset. It's that elsewhere in the Leeds team, there are players who are underpriced. Majority of that Leeds team is underpriced. I will quote FPL tactician who said, when he came on for correspondent week, he said there are only 3 players in the squad who aren't underpriced. Meslier, I think it was Firpo was the other, and Bamford. He basically thinks every other player is underpriced. And that's why. Birth Media pre-season predictions, player with most points, surprise player of the season. I'll put it out there. If Kane leaves Spurs, I think Heung-min Son will be the highest scoring player in FPL this year. Boom, done. I said it already. I'll say it again. Surprise player of the season. Should we go for Cucho just for jokes? FPL telling Josh, good luck James. So happy the Prem is back. Loving the return of the deadline streams. Thank you very much, mate. Keegan Carty, Pereira. Yeah, he's in my team, mate. Eshan says, thoughts on starting with Grealish or Sancho? It's a no for me, my friend. There are better, cheaper options at City and there are better, cheaper options at United for game week 1. So it's a no for me, mate. James Nelson, hi James. Huge thanks to you both for your content. Best of luck. Thank you very much. Appreciating all the kind comments, guys. Thank you. Anurag Sharma, hey James, your thoughts on adding Bamford along with Ings and Antonio? Nah, as I've explained. Thank you, Joe Finley Badder. Marcus P, you pushing for top 10k this year? No. I'm pushing for first, mate, in Sky Fantasy Football, and wherever I finish in FPL is where I finish. It's reality, it's the truth. Sorry, guys. Listen, what's my target? My target's to beat my personal best, so target would be top 20k. But it's getting harder and harder every year. So let's see how it goes. I don't lose sleep about it. The only thing I lose sleep about is what the next podcast is going to be. Holy cow, Mount or Havertz, considering Havertz playing 120 minutes in the Super Cup, to both as big a risk as the other. Mount's chances created last year, I think, well under the radar. We covered this on the podcast yesterday. I don't think they both start. I wouldn't even be surprised if they play 45 minutes each. Let me sum it up for you like that. Vishkas says, Captain Jota instead of Salah. Well, you've asked the question because you want to. Okay, off you go. You might as well sell Salah. There's not much point. There's not a huge amount of point having him for game week 1 and not captain him. You might as well, if you want to go Mane instead of Salah, do that. You want to do that? Go captain Jota, get Mane instead of Salah. Theo says Tony or Rafinha. It's a Rafinha for me. Jeff Surge, if you are watching, get in my league. You just got to DM him and hope, Jeff. You know he's fucking useless. Pep Talk, evening James, was on Buendia in pre-season for ages. Took him out for Barnes when he was injured, but today Buendia is fit. Barnes minutes might be managed. Now I don't know which way to go. Help. So, which one's in the team, mate? You know what I'm going to say. You know it. I could come down to Buendia. I've decided not to go back. Sean Wang Chi, Brosher could be the 5 million forward option. He could be, but I would expect Armstrong and Adams to be the front two. And at the moment, Cucho's a likely starter, and he isn't. So. But he could be. I don't suppose he's gone on loan from Chelsea to Southampton for a year not to get minutes. I grant you that. Oscar Saunders, Pereira and Sanchez, or Martinez and Veltman. Well, Sanchez would have been much closer to my team than Veltman, so Pereira and Sanchez. Thanks. Honestly, guys, if you put the question in twice, you just don't get your questions answered again. It's really as simple as that. Bradley Redford, DCL or Ings. Ings is in my team. Andre McFly, no Bruno. Well done. Your eyes are working correctly. Prakash says Grealish versus Mahrez. It'd be Mahrez for me. Sam, I've been surprised at the lack of Shimmy versus TAA discussion. I know TAA is great, but 3.5 goes a long way. I'm not sure whether Trent will justify the 1.52 extra over the 6.5, 5.5s anyway early season. That's very true, Sam. But what if you're wrong? How do you get back to him? That's the problem. B. Hurlin, not having a pint. Enjoy the season, folks. I could have, but no. I will have one on Sunday before the game. Sammy B. Hi, James. I don't like drinking in the house now. Now the little one understands what's going on. Sammy B. Hi, James. Thoughts about El Ghazi instead of Son and transferring Sonny in next week? Just go Sonny. Just go Sonny. Exactly what I've said. If Tottenham score this weekend, who's the most likely scorer? And it's not to say no one else in the team can score. Obviously they can. Dyer could score from a set piece, whatever. But the chances are, if Tottenham do well, Sonny's going to do well. Don't fear it. Look at his record against Man City. Just do it. Well, El Ghazi could go off after, he could get dragged off at half time, right? Paolo Gatti, who's going to be centre forward at City considering Jesus won't be starting going forward? Well, Jesus might be. I suspect the answer is probably still Harry Kane in the long term, mate. We expect probably Ferran Torres to play there on Sunday. Hornet says Cucho's really impressed. His shirt to lose at the moment, I think. There you go. That's from a Watford fan. Real Madrid, will Tony start? Wow. Samuel Robertson, has there ever been a more brittle front three than Antonio, Ings and Wilson? No, but it's fun, isn't it? At least you're prepared. When you go for that front three, you're prepared to know, oh yeah, I'm going to be in trouble. We are about 10 minutes or so away, and maybe a little bit longer from deadline, guys. Make sure you really are getting those teams locked in. If you haven't submitted your question yet, I'll be very honest, it is extremely unlikely that I'm going to get to you at this stage. As it's game week 1, I'm just going to have a check that no one's hacked my team. Yeah, someone's hacked my team. There's some strange players in it that I don't recognise. Don't worry. That's for the minus 56. Patrons know what that's all about. Let's log in. Make sure it's still my team. You've got to have that before game week 1 check, haven't you? Will Atkinson, Sarah and Buemo for game week 1. That's still Sarah for me, mate. Ruben says, which two would you pick? Rafinha, Benrahma, Buendia. I would have gone Rafinha, Buendia, but then Benrahma's a little bit cheaper. Tish, would you use Soufal or Diaz? Well, it's a difficult one to compare. Can you afford the extra million for Diaz? If so, pay it. Hussein RT, hi, do you think 4 million defenders for the bench is wise? No. No, I don't. Unless you know that you're going to wildcard early. Because it's probably going to force you to wildcard early. Think about it like this as well. You're already struggling to find the Lukaku money or the Kane money if you need it. Where's it coming from when you've got 2.4s on the bench? Well, it's definitely not coming from your defence, is it? So sacrifices will have to be made in your midfield, and there's no choice about it. So I look at, say, Pereira and Martinez, and you can say, oh, you could go Sanchez, you could go... Of course I could. Oh, there's 2.5 million straight away if I want to do that. So I think you're better off going the other way around. Hussein is the one I've just done. Prakash, Grealish versus Mahrez. Vabif, Mane over Salah, differential. Yeah, good luck with that, mate. Will Atkinson's responding. Thanks, Will. Thank you, Joe. Shadrach, Fornells or Pereira to bench. I love the fact that you answered that, Joe. That's cracked me up, mate. Shadrach says Fornells or Pereira to bench. I'll play Pereira, mate. Ethan, what's the story with no Bruno? Sorry if this has been asked before. The thing is, Ethan, I've covered it on, let me think, how many podcasts have we done the last 3-4 weeks? So I've done 10 this week. We did 35 last week. We did 10 the week before. There's been 55 podcasts just in the last 3 weeks. So I've probably covered it, I'd say, on about 40 of them. So it does get a bit tiresome. But then you can say that about everyone. So stick Bruno and you go, why no Salah? You could sit there and go, why no Mane? Why no Mahrez? Why no... The honest answer is, cut a long story short, I don't think, if I had Bruno Fernandes, I would captain him once in the first 11 game weeks. It's not worth the money. That's my opinion. Now, I'm not stupid. I know that Bruno Fernandes could hurt me, could damage me. The fixtures are good. He could go mental. If I'm in a position where I have no issues come game week 3, and I'm pretty sure that I will, I might move Salah to Bruno in game week 3 and then go back to Salah in game week 5. For me to be in that position, I need to get every other decision in my team right, and that's highly unlikely. I'm sure that I'm going to make some mistakes, and that means I'm going to go without. But I think there are alternatives for me in game week 4 that I can use. Salah at Leeds is still fine. Heung-min Son at Crystal Palace. Mikel Antonio away to Southampton. Mason Greenwood himself, if he's still in the team, at home to Newcastle. And then when I add that up, it's not worth it for me. So that's my opinion. I can get so much better team by not doing that. And I genuinely, it's a personal opinion, I genuinely think Heung-min Son can outscore him this year. Much of that will depend on what Tottenham's transfer business is in the next couple of weeks. I do not fear Heung-min Son playing Man City. Kiang707, Wilson or Greenwood? It's a Greenwood from me. Wingel, Mahrez and Greenwood or Son and Rafinha? Mahrez and Greenwood or Son and Rafinha? Sonny for me, mate. AT, look, why no Tony? Because you can't have everyone. Simple as that. Would you pick Tony over Ings or Antonio? Because the answer to that for me is no. Benny Blanca, Ayling, White or Veltman? Cheers, James. It depends a little bit, Benny. What do you want from it? Do you need it? Is it part of another rotation or is it just one? If it's just one, and I'm guessing maybe you're not playing it to start with, I'm going to say Ayling, mate. I'm going to say Ayling. Cal says, evening, mate. Just wanted to say thanks again to Susan yourself for all the content these last 4 years. You've helped a lot of people more than you know. Good luck this season. I much appreciate that. Thank you so much. Remember, I don't take life too seriously. This is about fun. Shawan says, will DCL start, guys? We believe so. Lisanne says, Benrahma plus 0.5 in the bank or Buendia. I think at this stage now, I would go Buendia. I'd chance it, yeah. Kiang707, why Greenwood over Wilson? Have you got any other content, mate? Amati Sufel or Diaz says Tishis. Well, Diaz, mate. What is this as a question? Shank says, is Buendia an okay shout instead of Benrahma? Yep, just said that. Rumours responding to someone. Thanks. Prakash, Grealish or Mahrez. Done that loads of times, Mahrez. Brefez, opinion on Aston Villa defence. Give away too many shots. That's why I got Martinez in goal. Ryan King, Wan-Bissaka or Rafinha to start? That's more difficult, actually. It's good. That's a good question. Because if it was Shaw or Rafinha, I'd say, oh, it's got to be Shaw because of the ownership. But then if you haven't got Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka will cover you up for a lot of that ownership. So I'm going to say Wan-Bissaka. Mike Pearson, can Son be a threat without Kane? Abso-fucking-lutely. Grekla, Rafinha to Greenwood now that Rafinha's been called up for the national. I'll do that if it's affordable anyway, personally. Wilson, Martinez will play for Argentina on the 9th of September. That's Friday morning UK time. Seems very unlikely he plays game week 4 the next day. I'll have to get a new goalkeeper then, mate. Mike Pearson, will Jota start ahead of Firmino? We think so. Calentron 17, have you got your eye on any fixture runs, i.e. Chelsea week 7, Man United not long after? Yeah, Chelsea 7, obviously. United 14-15. Arsenal 4. Wolves 4. Leeds and Leicester 5. There's loads. Jan Salters, Nathan Teller versus Emil Smith Rowe for game week 1. I think you'd go with the Arsenal player, I think, mate. Teller, we don't think is going to start for Southampton. A-Star, if you could only choose 2 mids to get the most points in the next 10 game weeks with a budget of 15 million, who would you choose? What a great question. Over 10 game weeks, I am going to say Rafinha and Harvey Barnes. Matan, Tony and Buendia or Sufal and Wilson. Tony, Buendia. You can go. I'm bored of your questions, mate. Paolo Gatti, Teller starting for Southampton. No, we don't think so. Pushkar, hello, my friend. I hope you reached this comment. FPL is just a game and therefore Captain Mane. To the moon we go. What a gutter. Thanks for the pre-season content, James, and all the best for the season ahead. I wish you luck. Nobody points a gun at anybody's head and says you have to captain Mo Salah. One of the things I always say is play the game your way. 5 minutes to deadline, guys. Make sure you're getting locked in. Oh, dear. He's lost his questions, Fred. LR25, what's for dinner, James? I ain't got a clue. Whatever I'm probably given, unfortunately. Josh Brown, is Havertz an option for 1 week punt? In my opinion, no. If he's in the team, it looks great. If he's not, it looks horrific. Milosh, thanks for all the hard work, James. You have a lovely team there. The best of luck to you and everyone watching. Thank you, Milosh. Good luck. It's nice to have nice comments, isn't it? Isaiah, pick DCL. No. Matam, Tony and Buendia. No. That's just it's the most boring question. I've had it loads of times. Rayak, I got rid of Ayling for Trent and gave up Antonio for Pareca. Still have Tony and Ings. Good choice. You've made it. I'm not going to tell you different with 4 minutes till the deadline. Sandeep says, going Cancelo. Your thoughts? Yeah, like that. It should start. I think he probably plays at left back on Sunday. James98, hi mate. Would you go Bamford and Son or Fernandes and Rafinha? I would go Son and Rafinha. Sorry, mate, but I would, and I'd put the money somewhere else. Divani, Cancelo for 5 weeks ahead. Listen, Zinchenko could take his spot at any time, but Cancelo should start the season. Ahmed says Barnes, Jota or Pepe for a long-term team. Barnes for me. A-Star, if you could only choose 2 mids. Once was enough, mate. It was a great question. Don't ruin it. Prakash says Grealish versus Mahrez. Coultron, what fixture runs? We've done that one. Ronnie says Pogba. No. Anthony Davison says Dark Horse Gabriel Jesus, best creative midfield in the world. Tappings for days. My man could bang in 15 up front for City with that midfield. Yeah, mate, rinse, repeat, and insert that into any pre-season over the last 4 years, mate. Weather says Barnes and Dean news. What about them? EP Balogun in for Vardy and 5.5 million in the bank. Have I lost my mind? Don't do that. There's no losing mind, but don't do that. Pam said, hi James, good luck for the season. Amartey or Ayling. Ryan Walker punting on Bertrand for my differential defender. Good luck, James. Cheers for the pods. Legend. Ash Brown saying someone do it. Whoever's saying Dean news. He might have COVID. Anyone at Everton might have COVID, but we don't know. Rory Button, Jamo, thoughts on Troy? Deeney? No, I wouldn't go near there, mate. Paul Singh, which Chelsea defender is best? Rudiger, most consistent. Don't think Chilwell start this weekend, otherwise it would be him. Mark Cassander, thanks James, I'll keep Barnes. Thanks for the content, not just this week. 3 minutes to deadline, guys. Jan Soltes, Teller Smith Rowe, I've done that one. Benny Roll, thanks for your team, but I'm not reading it out, mate. Alex says, hi James, enjoying the stream and appreciate all your advice. Can I ask where you finished in FPL last season? Best of luck this year. About 350k, Alex. That's why you shouldn't take my advice. Ryan Walker, oi, Alan, shut up, lad. Robert Mellon, hi, what are you going with? Martinez, why are you going with Martinez over Sancho? Because I think if Martinez gets anywhere near his points total from last year, it'll be... The way I've looked at it is, if Martinez was an outfield player, and you can guarantee me the points Martinez is going to get for 5.5, then you'd have him. You wouldn't think twice about it. And I agree that Sanchez looks better than Martinez, but what if he doesn't? If I've got this really wrong, as I've said already, I can go the other way. Genuinely, it's not something I'd advise, but I'm not scared to go Martinez to Sanchez in game week 4. It's in no way part of my plan. But I'm not scared of doing that if I realise that's what I've got to do. I just know that I always go for 4.5 million goalkeeper, and I always get the decision wrong. And this year, it looks like there is only a decision between Sanchez and Bachmann, and I bet I still fucking get it wrong. I've gone with Martinez. Brilliant first 3 fixtures, could explode. And I don't mind holding him through that dirty run they've got, because any clean sheet he gets in there is going to be 10 pointers. They ain't going to be 6 pointers. Sanchez is 6-7 pointer, isn't he? So he's got to at least match Villa's clean sheets. And when you sit down, you think about it, and you go, who's finishing higher in the table, James? Villa or Brighton? Oh, it's probably Villa, actually. Okay, fine. I'm going to go with Martinez. That's the reasoning why. Anoreg says, great content, great graphics, awesome as always. Thanks to FPL Captain for the graphics. Pradwell says, Greenwood at Ings or Tony and Mahrez. Greenwood at Ings, mate. John Simpson, who is going to be the Lundstrom Dallas this season? Schmickas for about 2 game weeks, mate, and that'll be your lot. Ash Trance, Mountain Mid over Barnes, a no for me. Serena, Ben Rama or Suchek. I make it 6:30 p.m, guys. Make sure you are locked in to your teams. I make it deadline is now. Thank you for all your FPL questions, guys, and apologies to those who I didn't get through the questions. Thank you to my spanners for trying to remove people with repeat questions. Much appreciate it. Love Sebastian's question I've just seen. When is deadline? As I always say, you can check the screen. Even the deadline's even on the screen. I'm going to skip all the questions, guys. Apologies, as I said, to those who didn't cover. If anybody's got any non-FPL questions, I am happy to cover them. I wish all of you the very best of luck for the season. If you're only here for the FPL, off you go. Hit the fun button on the like if you enjoyed the stream. Hit the subscribe. We'll be back with full content next week. And obviously, if you want to support Planet FPL on Patreon, please do. Not because it's going to make you a better FPL manager, but you want to support the content that me and Suj provide. 5 additional podcasts every week. Intermediate tier with our Q&A on Monday, Tottenham on Tuesday, quiz on Thursday, our game week preview every Friday, and something random, basically whatever I decide on a Wednesday is generally what we do with our podcast. At the advanced tier, I do additional videos and content every weekday for the advanced tiers, including what we're trying to do, and we did it for the first time today, a specific team news deadline stream for the advanced tier patrons. And if you don't want any of the extra content because you think shit, there's already enough, and you just want to buy us a pint a month, well, actually £3 won't get us a pint anymore, but you can join the basic tier, join the Planet FPL community in the Slack channel. We're coming up to around about 450 Planet FPL patrons now. Join the community. It's just a really nice version of Twitter with no bullshit and no horrible people, basically. There's plenty of ongoing competitions and stuff to join in with. Any questions, send me a DM and I'm more than happy to explain Patreon in a bit more detail. But join Patreon because you want to support the content and what we do rather than, I'm going to be a better FPL manager. There's FPL experts out there. I don't profess to be one. It's to support our content and we would appreciate any support we have. Thank you very much, guys. Right, let's do the questions. Neil Zappel saying, good luck. Oh, here we go. Brad Lewington, who's one of our advanced tiers. Thank you, Brad. Great job as usual on the graphics, Captain. Thank you, mate. Neil saying, deadline. Joe saying that my spanner is fucked. Thank you, Joe. I much appreciate the work, my friend. Phil McMahon. Oh, I've got to log into Sky. There is one final thing I want to debate. So I'll do Sky first. I will do your questions, Phil, but I also need to remember to lock my own team. Unfortunately, nowhere. I've just been too busy since we did the Sky podcast to properly have a look. I spent 10 minutes this afternoon and decided that I should go Lewis Dunk over. I'd already done the thought process. That was kind of the final decision. I've already said I'm going to go Lewis Dunk over Ricardo Pereira in Sky. And the reason for that is simply listening to my own words. No chances at the start, James. And not that I think Ricardo Pereira won't play 3 games for Leicester. I obviously do. But in FPL, I have the problems to cover that if suddenly he doesn't. In Sky, I obviously don't. And I've decided I don't want to take that chance. And I think the way Lewis Dunk treated me so well last season, etc., in that game, he should be there. So I have got Dunk and Webster. So my team is, and this is now with 0.3 in the bank, it's Martinez in goal, Webster and Dunk, Harry Maguire, Ruben Diaz, Bruno Fernandes. It's not a Bruno Fernandes hate thing. He's in this game. Harvey Barnes, Rafinha, Mo Salah, even Tony, Mikel Antonio. Plan is Tony captain today, Salah captain tomorrow, probably Ruben Diaz captain rather than Mikel Antonio on Sunday. If you're still listening and you only play FPL, that's going to sound ridiculous to you, but it's a different format again. Don't worry about it. Just ignore. I just want to double check in on Rafinha against Buendia. Rafinha 8.3. Now, for those who might be playing Sky for the first time, basically you get a forced wildcard after game week 3, so you don't have to look any further than that. And obviously Villa do have a brilliant opening 3 fixtures. Rafinha 8.3, Buendia 7.9. I would have had Buendia at the start. Rafinha's got United away, Everton at home, Burnley away. Buendia, Watford, Newcastle, Brentford. We think he's fit. I don't need the Rafinha coverage on the last Sunday because I've got Maguire coverage as backup to Bruno Fernandes, so I can lose that. Rafinha would be in there because I'd be punting him to be the best scoring player at that value in the 3 game weeks. I'm concerned about Buendia and where he's going to play for this, though. If he's going to play a similar position to what Rafinha plays for Leeds, I'm not sure he's an option. Again, do you go safe, James? Do you go safe? Buendia plays, isn't he? He's got to play. I'm not in doubt about that because Villa haven't got enough options in that area at the moment. Could he play at 10 even if Watkins is unavailable? Sorry, I'm thinking out loud to myself here on a decision. Buendia or Rafinha. I'm going to go Buendia. And I know that's horrible to say that I haven't spent much time thinking about this, but I spent a lot of time thinking about it. Now, the one thing with that is, it puts another 0.7 in my bank. Which is interesting. What price is Trent? Looks good. I can't afford him. I think I'll go with that then. 0.7 in the bank. So Buendia instead of Rafinha for Sky. I haven't got an attacking Villa player. I've just got Martinez. That's the right decision, I think. I will, once I finish the stream, I'll have another check on it and definitely confirm for the patrons. But yeah, I think I'll do that. Dunk is in for what would have been Ricardo Pereira. And Buendia is in for Rafinha. That's for Sky Fantasy Football. Phil McMahon, sorry. Question for Sky. Do we still feel Schmikas is a good pick, considering we have the overhaul in 3 weeks? I think it's very reasonable. I don't have the information or knowledge. I'm also not going with a Liverpool defensive player at the moment, which is a little bit risky. We think Van Dijk's probably going to play, but I don't think it's worth the risk. I think it's probably more a concern of, once Liverpool have some of their midfielders up and running, could Milner go to left back? We think Milner's going to have to play in midfield tomorrow. That's part of the deal with Schmikas. That might be the case next week as well. And you're only bothered about the first 2. You're not even bothered. I think if in his case, I don't think you're bothered if he misses the Chelsea game in game week 3. You just want him to play the first 2. Obviously, if he plays 3, it's a bonus, but you wouldn't lose sleep over it. Yeah, he's a good option. The thing is with Sky, you don't want, because of the overhaul or the wild card is after 3 game weeks. You don't want to make a change if you're wrong. So you've just got to be so certain about it. And I don't have enough confidence in it, to be honest, Phil, personally. But yes, he is a good pick. And obviously, he enables you more power elsewhere. That's obvious. Natasha says, do you think PSG will win the Champions League this year? It's difficult to look against them, I'm afraid, mate, isn't it? Unfortunately. There are noises that Mbappe potentially wants out, is what I've heard. Which seems odd. Why would you not want to play with Messi even for a year? But you'd have to fancy them, wouldn't you? Of course. But they're still very capable of bottling it. I think the adding Ramos and Donnarumma to it and Hakimi is wrong to say more important, but it's just as influential maybe. Vabiv says, thanks a ton, James and Suju Rock. Thanks very much, mate. Really, really appreciate that. Neil Thompson, cheers, James. Great stuff yet again. Final tinkering for my Sky team. And Buemo or Smith Rowe? So you want someone for tonight. Here's the thing. So, and obviously we haven't seen the team yet. Our Brentford correspondent, Tom Med, FPL Dummy Tom, messaged me yesterday with his predicted Brentford team for the tweet I put out very late last night. And he said that he thought their system would be dependent on whether Jensen plays or not. And he said he thinks that because Jensen's unavailable, they might play a 5-3-2, which would mean Mbeumo up front. Now, if you get Mbeumo up front and he scores for you tonight, you're happy. The same probably applies to Smith Rowe. I'm not big on either. I think it's Mbeumo, really, but I also think that you should pay the extra for Tony. Is my own personal opinion on that in Sky. That's how I feel about it. It's such minimal difference. When Suj was on, we did the podcast on Wednesday for Sky. He had 3 other forwards he really wanted. And I said to him, are you captaining all 3 of them forwards? And he said no. And I said, well, you have to think about that then. So if you've got 3 other forwards you definitely want to captain, I don't know, you're sitting there with Salah, Son, Antonio. It's probably maybe what you might be sitting there with. Then I think there's more of a case of not going with Tony. If you're sitting there with Antonio, Salah and Danny Ings and you don't want to captain him at any point, even though he's got 3 great fixtures, and you can do that with even Tony, you get 4 games versus 3 and you put 1.2 million in the bank, you should consider that. That's what I genuinely think. I think Tony is the standout option and standout choice. And also, you've still got him for Palace away next week and Villa away who allow a shitload of shots as well. So I really think Tony, he's definitely going to be the talisman there. I actually think Tony's, maybe not because of the fixtures they've got after the overhaul, but he'll be a real option again because he's a great price there at 7.9. Static said, just join the stream, think Kane is leaving this window. Yes, probably, mate. But I don't think it'll happen for at least 2 weeks. Honestly, it'll happen right at the end, mate. Right at the end. Maybe he'll go just in time just to blow up Arsenal in game week 3. But I don't think so. Really don't think so. I think it'll happen right at the end, if at all. I would say I think it's more likely that he's going to leave than stay. But I won't be surprised if he stays either. It's not locked on at all. City have got to pay the money. If City pay the money, Tottenham will do the deal eventually. Nils Appels, which of the 3 promoted teams would you support if you had to jump ship to save the family? Fuck. That's grim, isn't it? Probably Watford, I guess, because closest. But I don't have any ill feeling to any of the clubs. I quite like Norwich as a club. Brentford's the newbie. I guess Watford because they're the closest. They're inoffensive to me. Conspiracy theory. Hi James, do you reckon illnesses at Arsenal could be cover for transfers, i.e. Lacazette? No. You are the conspiracy theory of everything, but no, I think generally it's illnesses. Yeah, I mean we have to take that on face value. They spend a lot of time together. They're quite good friends off the pitch, I understand as well. So if one's got ill, it's not too surprising if the other one has. Ethan Williams, Liverpool have 6 players who make it into the best Prem combined team. Why can't they win the league? So you're saying Fabinho, Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Robbo, Salah. Well, they can win the league. Who said they can't? I definitely think Liverpool can win the league this year. So no. I don't think anybody's saying they can't. I think all of the big 4 can win the league this year. I don't think that's in question. It'd come down to consistency. In Liverpool's case, they don't have the depth like the other clubs. That's the problem. Like Konate obviously beefs it up. They've basically got 4 new centre-backs this season. Konate, Matip, Gomez and Van Dijk. So that's a major difference to what they were playing with for lots of last season. That in turn puts Henderson back in midfield. Less pressure on. It puts Fabinho permanently back in midfield. It took Klopp ages to realise, please put Fabinho in midfield. Obviously puts Thiago back in there. So yeah, of course they can win the league. I wouldn't be surprised. Liverpool need to have consistency and need to avoid injuries. Essence says, how many goals do you think Lukaku scores in the Prem this season? 6. Jokes. 18, 19. Echo says, deadline closed. We know. FPL has lovely content, James. Thanks very much. Essence says, I love the differential league concept. Joined it and excited on top of my normal team. Appreciate that, buddy. Ryan Walker, pizza toppings of choice. Do you know what? I'm not fussed. Just smash me a bit of pepperoni on. I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. Fucking hell, there's loads of questions for you lot, aren't there? Atul, I'm not complaining. Atul says, do you feel like this big club money spending is going to blow up eventually? Feels like it's in a massive bubble that's blowing up. In my opinion, it's really ruining the sport. What do you think? I don't think it'll blow up. I just think the rich will get richer and eventually it'll sort itself out in a few weeks, few years. Brad Lewandon, I'm off to Burnley in the morning. James, 5:30 a.m. start. What's been the worst away journey you've ever been on in terms of travel and result? Well, the worst journey I can tell you was a journey I did to Newcastle a few years ago on a coach. 8 hours. Got there 5 minutes before kickoff. Fucking joke. But we won 4-0, so I didn't mind too much. And it was a weeknight. And we thought the game might get postponed on the way up because there was games getting postponed because of wind. That was in the 13-14 season. So that was about February 14. Worst away journey you've ever been on in terms of travel and result? To be honest, I went up to Newcastle late 90s, noughties. Felt like it took a long time in the car, 5 hours or so. We lost 2-0. We don't think we even had a fucking shot. Shit. It's the long journeys that are worse, aren't they, right? I mean, for you, Brad, I'm quite blessed being in London, and I'm 2 hours to Manchester on the train and stuff. I'm quite lucky. I realise that. So they never feel too bad, to be honest. I don't mind the travelling. I've been used to it from a young age. You should give Sam a shout. He's heading up as well. Echo says, I need a girlfriend. A lot of people do, mate. Don't worry about it. Paul Tinkler, you wearing Harry's pyjamas, James? Yes, that's correct. It's not that bad, is it? Come on. This for a moment. Even I admit, it's nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Shifo says, on the Netherlands v Holland debate, we had Ruud Gullit as a pundit on the Euros in the Middle East, and he always said Holland. I heard you say that to me before, Shifo. Hope I helped for the World Cup pods in a year and a half. Appreciate that, mate. Lauren Harris, hello, my friend. Evening, James. Just joined the stream. Is the Spurs shirt a new look for all deadline streams now? It's about too hot. Things are so hot. Yogish says, I love your t-shirt. Thanks. Neil Thompson, I have Buendia in my Sky B team. Dan Young, I had all these thoughts and end up with Trossard. Neil Thompson looks 4-4-2 and that might not be that great in this format. No, that's okay, mate. Echo says, good luck, every mates. Benny Blanco, Sky, what do you think of Pepe as a captain option with no Lacazette or Aubameyang? Probably just in one of the teams. Yeah, best Arsenal shout for me tonight, mate. Obviously, we got to wait till we see the teams, but yeah, it's fine, mate. He's the one that's capable of going. That's why he's the best shout, mate. Ryan Welsh, I'm torn between the two as well. Ben Rama, James. No, I've not got Antonio. I don't need the two there. Sriram, no TAA, Schmikas and Mane and Salah for me. Here we go. Good luck, my friend. The professor, why nobody doubles on Mane and Salah? Some people have, mate. It's probably a case of a little bit like why I don't have Bruno. Do I want to pay £12 million for a player I'm not going to captain? That's probably part it, my friend. And you can also have Diogo Jota for £4.5 million cheaper. Zaris says, what are your thoughts about Ben Rama instead of Antonio? I really miss you, mate. Greetings from sunny Greece. Welcome back, Zaris. You're always a kind. Yeah, okay. I mean, Ben Rama was a consideration. At one point this week, I thought I was going to end up going with both, actually. Ben Rama was very close for me. A Batsua, thanks for convincing me to go Son over Bruno. I won't regret it. You fucking might. FPL Hitman, do you think City jumped the gun by signing Jack and not waiting, not only in terms of Kane transfer, but also if they waited, they would have bought Messi? I think they'd already committed plans. Those who've regularly watched my deadline streams will know I got a tip off in late January that Jack Grealish was joining Manchester City and the deal was already done. So I don't think it's a case of waiting. I think the deal was done months ago. And actually, if you look at the timing, because the release clause was there, right? So City knew they were going to pay 100 million for it. That's it. It's done. I think what probably happened was for the benefit of Villa, a nice little gentlemanly agreement was, look, you can have the player City, but can you let us do our business first? And that's what it is. And I think the deal was done for Grealish months ago. I wouldn't be surprised paperwork for that shit got signed back in the spring, honestly. As soon as Villa got the dealings done, it was like, yep, announce it. Oh, yeah, and there's a release clause. It makes sense. I think the deal for Grealish was done months ago, mate. Jake Cav, Shiva, I presume it's an FPL question, but your deadline's gone, mate, so I'm not doing that shit. Jake Cav, Buendia or Siyunchu in Sky? Well, for me, I'd have to go Buendia because I'd need 3 in midfield. It's close. I mean, Buendia. I'd actually probably Buendia. The more I think about it, yeah, I think putting Buendia in my team's the right thing to do. We'll see. Nikolai, who is Cucho? Well, if you watch the game at Vicarage Road tomorrow, you'll find out, mate. Flower Pot Man, general Spurs question. Are there any rumours of you guys signing any more defenders, etc.? I would even go as far as saying Loris probably only has another year, don't know contract, any info for a new goalkeeper. We got a new goalkeeper, mate, Pierluigi Gallini. He's in on loan with a potential to extend that loan. If he plays 20 appearances at any point, he gets bought for £15 million. And at the end of the 2 years, if Tottenham want to buy him, they can buy him for £15 million anyway. So he's in. He's in. I tell you what, I've only seen him once at Chelsea in a friendly. It was very good. So I think Tottenham have got him in on loan to have a look and see if he can potentially be the number one further down the line. I think that's the plan. Defensively, there will definitely be at least one more defensive incoming. And obviously, depending on what happens with Kane, in fact, I expect something further forward to happen, actually. I think Spurs are waiting. Spurs like to wait and play the market, don't they? So, yes, I would expect more incomings, mate. And I would expect some outgoings as well. Diam, I was laughing and joking about removing Salah and Bruno and the deadline came. Please help me, Planet FPL. I can't help you, mate. I don't work for official FPL, I'm afraid, my friend. Right, I'm going to go through these quite quick so I can disappear and go and see my son for a bit. Hello, Oscar Willis. Nathan Joblin. Hey, mate. Just joined the stream. Finished 46th in the world last year. Joined 43rd, aiming for top 40. As if. Amazing. Oscar, FPL deadline's gone. I'm not doing any more FPL stuff. There's another stream next week. It's next Saturday morning. 10 a.m. UK time. Moonros, love from Egypt. Aaron, what happens with the Premier League app? I don't know, mate. Asher, outside top goalie, play Woodman, going to seize his chance, but doubt Newcastle will keep hold of Hart. That's amazing. Suhib, my differential pick was Pepe. He'll be the main man for Arsenal. Jose Vargas is not a question. It's a digital stand innovation for all your pre-season work. Incredible. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. I'm so relieved that we're here. because my brain doesn't stop in terms of the content. But my brain now can't think about the next bit of content until I at least sit down and watch some football. Static, how's baby Harry? He's very good. Did you see what I tweeted earlier about him laughing his head off? Have a look if you haven't seen it. You can follow me on Twitter, Planet FPL Pod. Cherie MCI, James, good luck all. Addy Tor, do you think Vestergaard would become a good option in Sky at Leicester? Could do. Patrick Lawson, I quite like that kit. Good luck this game with James. Tender Titan, when is the update going to be done? I don't know, mate. I'm not official FPL. As if I am wearing this clobber. It was so funny when we went out for the meet-up the other week. I'm looking around for somewhere to go for a drink late at night, and I'm walking around in this shirt. I'm not getting in anywhere. I might as well go home. Suhaib, is this streaming elsewhere? What is it? Yeah, in my spare bedroom, mate. Against the amazing blue wall. Regrets, what do you think of Adam Armstrong? I think he'll do quite well at Southampton, actually. Ben Moxon, thanks you and Suj for your hard work this summer, mate. Top work, thank you. Suhab, I'm going through the questions in order, mate. I don't have enough following to be doing the questions when they're live. I'll get to you, mate, but if you spam in, I just won't get to you. Zaris, Schmikas was very, very good here in Greece. In fact, the answer to your question is, Suhab, if you look at the pinned message, there's a clue. Zaris says, Schmikas was very, very good here in Greece. I know the level is not the same, but I think he would go well. Do you prefer Ayling or White? Greetings from Greece. Zaris, do you know the deadline's gone, ain't you, buddy? The answer would be Ayling. Shifo, thoughts on Mbappe leaving PSG? Wouldn't surprise me. Joe Corley, Buendia or Dallas and Sky? Buendia. Stephen O'Brien, I'm the only person on Twitter with Slabhead. Can't wait for him to score tomorrow. Good luck. Sufiana putting Bowen for Buendia as a last minute panic transfer. FPL Hitman makes sense. Thanks, mate. Good to have these back. Stellar job by Spanners. Captain, of course, yourself. Cheers. Jay Barker. Second team plans for Sky, James. Question, is Pepe captain tonight? Straight out for Barnes, worth a daft punt for second team. As I said on Wednesday's pod, Jay, I really, really, really don't like the coming off a player straight away tonight. My second team in Sky is one player per team. I'll leave Rafinha in that one because I've already got Martinez. So Martinez, Webster, Rudiger, Dean, Diaz, Barnes, Fernandes, Rafinha, Salah, Antonio, Toney's. It's only 3 different from my main team. It's basically Rudiger, Dean and Rafinha for Buendia, Maguire and Dunk. And the idea is to leave that dead. On the other side overhaul, I want to keep that as one player per team. Oh look, Said says updated now! Exclamation mark! Oh my god, I could look at my team for game week 2. Fucking hell, I don't want to look at that fucking thing for days, to be totally honest with you. Yogish, first manager to get relegated this season. I presume you mean sacked, Yogish. We did this on one of our Patreon pods, I think, on Monday. I'm worried for Hassan Hootel. Southampton's first 8 games took 2 points from the corresponding 8 last season. If they do that again, he won't make game week 9. No prob, Suhaib. You can lull. I appreciate that. Cheers, buddy. Yo, Joe Stang. Hi, James. Great content as always. I play else for... that's a Swedish league that I can't fucking pronounce. And Alfie Whiteman just joined Degerfors. How good of a goalkeeper do they have? Not a very good one. Sugar Bender. Wait for the Arsenal lineup. Benji. You were referring to Sky, obviously, of course. Harvey Barnes is so worth it. Ben says DCL or Antonio. Ben, I hope you know the FPL deadline's gone, mate. If you're asking for Sky, Antonio. Nishit, why Greenwood and not Jota? To be honest, does it matter? It's gone now anyway. To be honest, I think Greenwood offers me captaincy coverage in game week 4. And I actually think he outscores Jota over the 4 game weeks. That's why. Zubin, Antonio or Ben Rama. If you're asking for Sky, Antonio. Ben Benjani, would you have gone DCL or Antonio? For what? Or what, like if I could have afforded DCL? No, I still would have gone Antonio. Sushant, Brentford starting off the season in style with a win today. Yeah, fingers crossed for Brentford. Hello, Matt Liffick. Cheers, James, from Indiana, USA. Thanks for joining, Matthew. Always a pleasure, mate. Tactical Wizard, no. I thought the deadline was at 7. Sorry, guys. Ravi says, great stream. Thanks to your inputs, it was easier to decide all 50-50 choices previously. Finished overall just under 4K. All the best for this season and to you. Thank you very much, Jay Barker. Saeed, any interest in leagues? Loads on our Slack Patreon FPL community network, mate. Come and join the fun. Static said, just seen the baby Harry laughing vid. Beautiful kid. I wasn't with him at the time. It was fucking working, weren't I? Me and Mum had him, and she sent me that as funny as. Love it. He's a cool dude. Said said league codes. The league code. Fuck. Did I not put it in the thing? I swear it's in the bio. Tell me it's in the bio. I'm really annoyed when it's in the bio. Is it in the bio? Is it in the bio? Is it in the bio? It's not in the fucking bio, to be fair, is it? I'll tell you the league code. Hold on. I'll tell you the league code. I do know it, but I forget because I'm lazy like that. Right, the Planet FPL league code is drumroll D for Delta. In fact, why don't I just... I'll put it in the chat. Then you can copy and paste it, can't you? That's the Planet FPL mini league code in the chat. FPL Hitman, one last question. Can you check if Suj locked his team in? To be honest, he was pretty comfortable with what he was doing, so I can't think there's a problem there, mate. Will Atkinson, any substance in Adama leaving Wolves? I don't have any ITK on that. I think it would still have to be a decent sized bid. Nishet Rao, what was that thing with Jota again? I don't know. Ethan Colombo, Saka on the bench. Wow. I was breaking. Oh, it's going to be Rockstars probably tweeting something. I might as well hold on for the team news now, aren't I? Florence Sandu went Mane captain and Salah. I feel dirty. Adi Tor, it's in the bio. Is it really in the bio still? Tactical Wizard, yeah. Do you know what? To be fair, I went and I couldn't see it in the bio. Is it really in the bio? I can't see it. Are you sure it's in the bio? I genuinely can't see the mini league code in the bio. Oh, it is, yeah. Join our Planet FPL mini league. So fucking. Why is it? It's just a general thing, right? And I realise some people come in for the first time. But why do people not look at the screen or anything before they submit questions? Why does that happen? I really don't get it. I honestly don't get it. It's like the questions are asked me like, Harrison or Ben Rama? Well, which one do you think? My team's on the screen. Who should I captain? To be fair, there was no captaincy questions this week. But that's because nearly everyone's captaining the same player, isn't it? So I just don't get that people don't look. People say, what score do you... Yep, they're on there as well. Who would you pick? Yep, that's there as well. I don't mind hanging on for the team news with you guys. It's been a fun first stream. If you got any more questions, guys, go on, fire them in quick. I'll get it covered. Since it's the first one and all that shite. Nishit said, I meant why Greenwood and not Jota. I literally explained it, mate. I literally explained why I picked Greenwood over Jota like 3 minutes ago or something. Matthias says, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, mate. My dies have had it. I've kind of hit a wall. Accidentally used a free transfer and didn't realise the deadline time. Congratulations, maybe on being one of the first people to make a transfer this season. Saeed Ahmed, people really slept on Joe Willock. Oh my God, Joe Willock. I'd never thought of him for a second. Aburizek Farhan, hi from Bangladesh. Hello. Zaris says, should I start a Marty or Rafinha? My name in English is Harry, so now I'm your favourite. Zaris, you do know the deadline's gone, don't you, mate? Like, I'm worried for you. Yogesh says, predictions for top 4 teams. City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United. Not necessarily in that order, but probably in that order. Yogesh is what just done. Multi-live evil. Merez and Gundogan double up instead of Son and Rafinha. Are you telling me? Are you asking me? Because deadline's gone. Zaris, why have you put that there again, my friend? Yes, your name's Harry. That makes you my favourite, my friend. Yes. FPL Penguin. All right, James, all the best for the season. How much? What is your 4th, 8th standing predictions? Leicester definitely 5th, in my opinion. Tottenham and Arsenal, whichever one fucks it up the least. And then if they keep the team fit all season, Leeds 8th. I suspect they probably won't. So I'll go West Ham again, 8th. I say West Ham again. That's a little bit harsh. But you're West Ham 8th. Tactical Wizard, all the Premier League predictions for all 10 games are on the screen, my friend. Sam, your opinion on Richarlison? Dances like a duck. Bit of a strange bloke. Suhab, you reckon Kane's staying? No, probably not, mate. Right, let's have a look at these teams, see what we can decipher from this. Nicholas says who will get relegated. To be honest, I'm going to say the 3 promoted teams. So Brentford are Raya, Ajer, Janssen, Pinnock, Canish, Janelt, Norgard and Yeka, Henry, Monbuemo, Tony. And if you saw the thread that I tweeted out last night, that is an 11 out of 11 for FPL Dummy Tom. Now 3-5 who obviously couldn't get an 11 out of 11. We have Balogun and Martinelli have come into the Arsenal team. Sambi, I presume, is Congola. Each Chambers at right back, not Bellerin. So Chambers has had the nod there. Bellerin is a sub. Rob Holding is a sub for Arsenal as well. So we think, I'm trusting Tom's judgment on Brentford that that's a 3-5-2 for Brentford, and that would mean Mbeumo up front. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. That was really good fun. Deadline stream will be back next Saturday, 10 a.m. Coming up for you this week, Monday, full podcast review of all the Game Week 1 action. Tuesday, we'll think of something. Probably vote will go out on Twitter on Sunday for something. Wednesday, Sky Fantasy Football. Thursday, Clash of the Correspondents, Southampton versus Manchester United with Clean Sheet Wipeout, and is my cat playing. Friday, I'll do an Ask James stream. Saturday will be the Deadline stream. 10 a.m. for 11 a.m. Deadline. And yes, that's all the free shit. There'll be more podcasts, Q&A, Tottenham, something else, quiz, Game Week 2 preview. All on Patreon, intermediate tier and above. As I said, if you want to support Planet FPL on Patreon, it's www.patreon.com/Planet FPL or some shit like that. It's something else that's in the bio anyway. Thanks so much, guys. I wish all of you the very, very best of luck for the season. Remember, Game Week 1 of 38. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So don't get too ecstatic if you have an amazing week, and definitely don't be too down if you have a horrific week. But I wish you all the very best of luck. Jot the vid, a like and a subscribe on your way out. Have a great weekend, everyone. Ciao for now.